Welcome back. In this session, we are going to look into parameters of plot. So let's start our discussion. So guys, whenever we are working with plots, then we have to handle various parameters which actually make the plot complete. So if you closely look into this diagram, then you will find that there are near about 7 parameters which actually help us to define the plot. So let's discuss about these parameters one by one. Suppose that if you want to handle the size of the plot, then we have to handle with a figure parameter within the plot object. Same way, if you want to change the look and feel of axis of the plot object, that you have to handle through the axis parameter. And if you want to specify the text within the plot, then you have to use the text parameter. Now next, suppose if you want to change the range of x-axis and the y-axis, and that you can handle through the x-axis and y-axis parameter. So guys, if you want to manipulate the plot object, then you have to handle it through all these parameters. So to see all this thing in action, let's jump into the Jupyter notebook and we will draw a plot, and then we will look into all these parameters. So guys, I am going to write the code, and I will start with importing the pandas first, and then we will also import matplotlib library. Once we import that, then we will import the Seaborn library. So here we will import pyplot as plt, which we have already seen. Then we will import Seaborn as SNS. You already know about this thing. Now we have imported all the libraries. Now the next step, we will get our data into a data frame, and then we will draw the plot. So let's press shift enter. Now let's grab the data. So I am going to grab into a data frame, and this time I am going to use pd.read_csv, and the data which I am going to use it over here is this one. This data exists at my GitHub location. You can also use the same raw data and put it into your notebook if you are writing along with me. And now you will do the shift enter. Then you will find that we will get the data into the data frame. So this data set contains the information about the different vehicles, more specifically different cars and their mileage detail, along with their cylinder detail, and these are their specification of their engines along with the name of the car and their model. So now let's proceed further and let's look into how to define the figure size of the plot. So to do that, I'm going to use plot.figure method. There is a method given, and within that I'm going to specify the size of my plot, and the parameter I'm going to use is fig size, and this requires to provide the tuple. These parameters represent height and width of the given plot along with DPI detail. DPI means dots per inches, which actually determines how many pixels the figure comprises. The default value is 100, but here I want DPI should be 80, so I should mention 80 over here. Shift enter. So guys, for this example I am going to draw a heat map which will actually give us the correlation information about each variable with each other. So basically we are drawing the correlogram. So now let's do it. So how we can do that? We are going to use Seaborn plot, and I'm going to write sns.heatmap. And what does heat map will take? It will take the correlation information that we will grab it through the data frame method CORR, and here you need to specify this method. Now the next parameter we need to specify tick level, x tick level we want to specify. So again I want that it should print all the variable name to x tick level as well as the y tick level. So how we can do that? We need to tell that we will get the data frame, we will get the correlation, and then we need to also grab, there is a property called columns which we need to specify. So this is about x tick levels, and what it will do, it will print all this level at the x level as well as the y level. So to make it y level, we are going to use the same thing, but this time we are going to tell that it should be y level. So here I can mention y tick levels. Now next we need to set the CMap. CMap is the representation of the color map, which basically gives you various color combination as per the correlation strength. So let's provide CMap over here. I'm going to write CMap, and here I need to specify something called BUPU. So you must be asking that how I get this value. So I will show you now. So there is a site called pythongraphgallery.com where you will get such information, and it will give you these color combination with these codes. So I have been using BU and PU. You can use other one as well, and these color represent the correlation strength between two variables. So let's go back to the Jupyter notebook. Another parameter I'm going to specify over here is center equal to 0, and annotation I want it should be true. Now let's do shift enter and see the result. It is very crumbling plot which actually doesn't help us to get the information from this plot. Now the question over here is how we can beautify this plot so that it should be more readable and more useful. Then here it comes all the parameters we should handle to make this plot more readable. So now let's do it. So I am going to start with some of the constant declaration. So I am going to tell that I'm going to have some value large equal to 22, medium equal to 16, and small equal to 12. Once we have declared the constant, the next step, I am going to create a parameter dictionary which basically holds the initial configuration of this plot. I am going to tell it as parameters, and this is going to be a dictionary, and I need to tell what are the keys I'm going to handle. So I am going to handle the access, the title size I want to keep large. I need to specify large over here. The next key I want to handle is the legend. So I will tell that legend dot font size, and what kind of font size I am going to have. It is going to be the mid value. So I will tell that mid. Another parameter I want to handle is the figure size. So I will tell it over here figure dot fig size, and I will tell that in a tuple I will tell that I want 16, 10. So this contains the height and width. Another parameter I want to handle is the access level size. So I will tell that all the information which is going to be printed on access, it should be of mid size, that is of 16. Now another one I want to keep it the X tick. I want the X tick level size should also be a med value. So I will tell that med over here. Now coming back to Y tick. Y tick also have the same kind of a size. So I will tell it over here med, and then next I am going to tell that the figure title size. So the figure title size, as it is going to be the heading of the plot, so I will tell that title size is large. Once it is being done, I need to update these parameter for this particular plot. So for that I am going to use a method called rcparams.update, and here I need to specify all these parameters which I want to update. And next, one thing, currently we are using the matplotlib grid over here, so I want that should be the seaborn grid I want to use. So I need to specify the style for that. So for that I am going to write plot style dot use, and over here I need to specify what kind of style I want. I want seaborn hyphen white grid. Once it is being done, we need to set the style. So I will tell that sns dot set underscore style, and it should be white. Once it is being done, let's do shift enter. We have a typo error. Yes, we did a mistake over here. It should be dot, and if you closely look at it over here, we have done level size, shift enter. Now we have set the parameter. Now again I will go back to this particular line and do shift enter and see what actually it is doing, and you will see that it has beautified our plot and it is more readable now. So now you can imagine how important these parameters are and how you can easily manipulate the size and the color of these parameters with the help of the parameter which we have discussed. One thing we are missing over here is the title, so we can set the title as well. We need to tell plot dot title, and here you need to specify whatever the title you want. Tell that heat map for empty cars. Shift enter, and you will see that it has printed the title for this particular plot. So guys, this is about the parameters of plot. The significance of this particular plot I will discuss in some other session, as the intention for this session is to not explain why to use this plot. I just wanted to show you how you can manipulate the plot parameters, or say plot information, with the help of different parameters which we have access through all these parameters. So guys, this is one of the best practices whenever you want to change the parameter. So you should create the dictionary, and where you need to specify those parameters as a key, and whatever the value you want, you can create the constant for that, and then you will specify that. And suppose if you want to do a change within the global configuration, you just come here, and here you need to specify, for example 25 I want the size of the access title. Then I just come here and I will change the title Now if you will run it, then you will find that it will increase the size for the access title shift enter, and you will find that it has increased the size for the access title. So now let's proceed further. So guys, we have seen that how to manipulate the plot object with the help of these parameters, and this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.